Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I can totally say that now because it's my second video and I'm like totally part of the furniture here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my 2021 luxury purchases. Now, just to be Captain Obvious for the moment, 2021 was a bit of a schmozzle. I spent a significant chunk of my time in lockdown and by extension working from home, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. And so the opportunity to get dressed, go out, wear pretty things was very limited. However, there was a lot more time spent online browsing pretty things. And so I still managed to chip away at my wish list as I sort of hit those milestones where I permit myself to buy these things. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to contain it to items that I actually have purchased. So in the course of running my blog or side hustle, for lack of a better term, I do receive a bit of PR product from brands, and some of those pieces do fall within the luxury category. But I think it's probably best suited to maybe making a favorites video, like a luxury favorites video, where I can encompass both items that I have bought and have been sent to me. Just for the purposes of today's video, it'll just be items that I have purchased myself. Okay, so let me run you through them. So first cab off the rank is my Acne Studios Canada scarf. I have the grey scarf, which I bought a couple of years ago, and I seriously wear that thing to death. And because it's so big, I wear it as both a scarf and as a wrap, particularly when I'm in the office and the aircon is blasting and I'm freezing my ass off. I will wrap it around my body and it's just so lovely and cozy and warm. So I thought it was time to add sort of like a warmer, more neutral toned colour just to my rotation, because the grey one is quite cool toned, and it's been a really worthwhile investment. These are really the only two scarves that I wear because they're just so good. They're so simple and classic, but they're so cozy and warm. And I mean, initially, before buying my first Acne Studios scarf, I was questioning whether or not it would be worth the hefty price tag, because they are very pricey. Not as expensive as Burberry or sort of like the high-end designer, but Acne Studios scarves are still, you know, enough for me to kind of go, should I, you know, go to COS instead and get myself a scarf? But I'm glad that I made the investment because they are excellent quality, and I mean, my grey one has really held up well. It's been a few years now, and they're made of like 100% wool. It's just a really great versatile size. My husband can wear them as well. Not that he has, even though like I always add that to the pro column. Husband can wear too, but I wouldn't let him really. So yeah, that's luxury purchase number one. Okay, so the next luxury item that I have to show you are my RM Williams boots. So I have these in the Lady Yearling style, and I managed to get these earlier this year. RM Williams boots have earned cult status here in Australia. They've been around for a really long time, 90 years, and they are somewhat of a fashion icon, and some would even consider these to be like the national boot of Australia. And when it comes to like Australian fashion icons, these always make the list. So I've wanted a pair of RM's boots for the longest time. My husband actually has had his pair for a while, the Craftsman, and they've worn so well, and he always raves about how well they're made and how they're such good quality. So he enabled me to go on my own hunt for my own pair. So I popped into the store early this year and I tried on all the different styles, like the Millicent, the Maya, the Adelaide, the Lady Yearling and the Craftsman. And I wanted a pair of their iconic Chelsea boots, like from their core collection. From time to time they do release sort of seasonal designs, but I really wanted a classic pair. I very quickly ruled out going for a boot with the Cuban heel. I prefer the aesthetic of the block heel. And so the Lady Yearling was just the standout design. Whenever anyone asks me which style that they should go for, I always recommend the Lady Yearling because I think it's got more of a subtle natural toe. It still comes in that classic RM's aesthetic in the brown, and it also comes in the black. And you know, the block heel is just very classic. One thing that's worth noting about the boots is that they come in a variety of different soles. There's like the leather sole and the rubber sole. Both are the same price, but I opted for the rubber sole because I'm a bit clumsy and quite frankly I found the leather sole to be a little bit too slippery, and I figured if it's raining and wet I will 100% guaranteed slip and fall. And I find anyway with a lot of my designer shoes is that I will end up resoling them to rubber just to avoid the embarrassing situation of slipping and falling on my ass in the middle of the street when it's raining. And so I would 100% recommend that you go for the rubber sole. Perfectly matches the shoe as well. It's just so well made. The shoes are also like marketed as being virtually indestructible, and that was something that I was quite apprehensive about as well. Like I thought, oh, are they going to be really stiff and really thick and really uncomfortable? But that is totally not the case. I mean, they are indestructible. I just don't think that I can do anything to wreck them, and I think that they will last me for many, many years, but it doesn't take away from the comfort of the shoe. So these retail for $5.95, and that is the price that I paid. I couldn't manage to get these on sale at the time that I wanted to buy them. And I think because of the $5.95 price tag, it does put them in the luxury category, hence it being on this list. So the next item that I have to show you, and probably my favorite purchase of the year, are my Gucci loafers. Seriously, I've lost count of the number of times that I've gone to buy these. Every time I go to buy them, I overthink and I analyze, and I ultimately just chicken out because I think it's a combination of like the price tag and the fact that they're shoes, and they're shoes that are, you know, meant to be worn quite often, and I'm just not sure whether it would be a worthwhile investment. But then like on a Sunday morning in lockdown, I posted about them and just was sharing with you how I have this constant paralysis by analysis, particularly when it comes to sort of big ticket items. And so many of you just popped on and were like, just get them. And so then I did. It was a moment of weakness, but I am so glad that they're part of my collection because I have worn them so much since I got them, because they just go with everything. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you that because I mean, these are iconic classic shoes. One thing that I haven't had a chance to do yet, and I keep meaning to do, is to get them resoled with the rubber sole, because at the moment they've just got that leather sole. And I mean, I just keep wearing them, but I know that a lot of you have recommended that I do that, and I have, you know, had it in my mind to do it as well, because, you know, I'd like to preserve the longevity of these as much as possible, because I am intending to wear these for many years to come. So that is something that I'm going to do hopefully over the summer when I have some time up my sleeve. So I ultimately opted for the Jordan, but I was having the debate in my mind about whether to go for the Jordan or the Brixton, which has the collapsible heel. Because I was in lockdown, I was unable to go into the store and try on the different styles, but I did a bit of reading, and the Jordan I'd read had, you know, more of a thicker, stiffer leather, and I figured that that would be sort of the longer lasting one of the two. And I was bracing myself actually for these to be really stiff and uncomfortable. That is totally not the case. And I feel like if you were to go into the store and try them on for yourself, you would agree with me as well. They're not uncomfortable, they're not stiff by any means. So the next item that I have to show you is one that I'm wearing right now. I have to stand to show you, and it is my Loewe belt. So I opted for this beautifully classic reversible belt, and it's got the logo of the 4 L's, which sort of subtly pops in the gold hardware. The belt is black on one side and navy on the other. And before I added my Loewe belt to my collection, I was relying solely on my Gucci belt, which was the only designer belt that I had in my wardrobe. I've gotten so much wear out of my Gucci belt, I thought that it was high time that I add another designer belt to my rotation, and I'm so glad that I did. I feel like I've got 2 belts for the price of one, thanks to the fact that it's reversible, and I find it really easily interchangeable. Size-wise, I got the size 80, which I find works well for me because I can wear it as both a hip and a waist belt. But something that I've been meaning to do that I haven't had a chance to do yet is to get an additional hole punched in so that I can wear it a little bit higher on my waist, because I love wearing my belts to sort of cinch in dresses or vests like I'm doing right now. Yeah, this has been a really worthwhile investment in my wardrobe. Okay, and last but certainly not least is my newest bag purchase, and that is my Celine small phantom carbis tote. This bag has been on my radar for some time. I'm a huge fan of Celine, particularly Phoebe Philo designs, And I already have the small vertical carvers in my collection, as well as the So Sangle bag, which is quite similar in capacity. So I have been asked by a few of you why I went for this bag, because I do have other tote bags in my collection. But ultimately, I really love sort of the softer structured tote silhouette, and I really love Celine bags. I've got a very healthy Celine bag collection, and I wouldn't call myself a collector because I don't buy the bags to keep them. I buy the bags to use them. And it's nice to have the ability to rotate them and enjoy them, but also in the same vein, by rotating them, I'm sort of keeping my bags in good nick because I'm not using them constantly all the time so that they get run down. And I should also note that before buying the small Phantom carvers, all of the Celine bags in my collection were black. And so I have totally gone all out with this grey colour and totally branched out. I mean, look at it. It may as well just be neon green considering how different it is from my black bags. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you'll know that I had a really difficult time branching out from black. I was agonising over the colour. So this is a big deal. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and for supporting my new adventure on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed me giving a little bit of a rundown of all of the luxury purchases that I made in 2021. I've got a heap of video ideas for next year where I'll be, again, sort of sharing luxury items, bag reviews, workwear and styling. So I'd love it if you came along too and showed your support by subscribing. Make sure that you like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!